By the way, for anyone who is sort of newish to speedrunning, I don't encourage doing this kind of behavior normally. Like, if you're new to speedrunning the game, just get yourself a completed run, no matter how slow it is. I'm at the point where I'm trying to push for like a really high, a fairly tight PB and a world record, so I do just reset on simple mistakes, but don't adopt that attitude if you're sort of starting out speedrunning, not just this game, any game. One of the most important runs you can do for a speedrun is the first one. Just get that out there, because then you have something to target. No matter how slow it is, how many mistakes there are, just do it. I'm only resetting because I've done all that. I've had my time to do that sort of stuff. If I was ever doing a new game though, like I would, like even then I still have the sort of the bad attitude of I won't submit a run until I'm at least not bottom on the leaderboard. But even then, fuck that. If you're bottom on the leaderboard, you're bottom on the leaderboard. It doesn't matter. The important thing is you're on the leaderboard. I feel like I'm getting memory leaks. That didn't feel like it should have been plus 0.6. The RTA, if I do get this, the RTA is probably going to look quite bad. But that's what I get for quitting to the menu twice on gunfights. For anyone who doesn't know, this game leaks memory. It leaks a lot of memory, I think, and we think it's bullet related. Which is another reason why the IGT is good, because the leaked memory usually affects like load times and scene transitions, all of which you have to worry about when you're using the in-game timer. Very bad for 1.x, or I guess just a lot of stuff. Screen warp becomes fucking unmanageable with when you're leaking memory. Doing the screen warp glitch seems to fuck up the memory as well, because the game gets slower and slower the more you screen warp. Doesn't make it any easier to do the trick though. Hello, Hug Disperse. Double. That guy usually never hits me, and this time he hit me twice. That's just a bad omen. I can't. Oh, that's just bad luck. I can't abandon the run on that. Yes, hello, Hug Disperse. Welcome to the stream. How are you? Not getting sub 3 on Scalelord, but oh god, this is an atrocious Scalelord. Oh my god, it's still sub 3. Look at that. Still sub 3 IGT. Oh. What's the biggest time save in this run? Basically, I just need... like, the new trick that Nameless found is a pretty big time save. At the moment, it's more about, just executing it well, for me. Like, I think before I sort of look at what any more time saves there are, I just need to get every section up to a consistently good standard. Like, the first 2 areas are usually fine. Ice World, bit hit or miss. Castle's very hit or miss. Tower's usually pretty consistent. Space is usually pretty good, but if something goes wrong, your run is pretty much dead, because the levels in space are so big. And then Inverse World, a lot of shit can go wrong. Not as much now in 3.0. 3.0 made Inverse World a lot easier. I do appreciate all the boss names. Dr. Ludo, Yeah Lord, King Fatty, Cotton. I think specifically Cotton Duke. What am I doing? Good thing pausing the game pauses the IGT. Yeah, the boss names are fun. The Loop Loop DX has some pretty cool boss names as well. Got a Junior Squirm reference. It is. In fact, there's evidence to suggest that Loop Loop DX is kind of like a stealth prequel to Squirm, because the heart that you see at the end, there's a heart in this, a corrupted heart in this that you speak to. And convince it to not be evil in the 100% run. And it's the same heart that appears at the end of Loop Loop DX. So I think Loop Loop could potentially be a prequel, or a very far in the future sequel to Squirm. My guess is prequel though, because Squirm 2 is technically on its way at some point. Alex is working on the Legend of Bean, as it's called. Yeah, no, there's, if you play Squirm, I mean, if you play Squirm, you'll probably spot Loop Loop DX references, I guess, if that's the order you're playing it in, but I spotted the Squirm references as I was playing. Oh, that's a nice early thwomp. I'll take 701. In-game time for this bit. Sub 7's always nice, obviously, but... By the way, just for anyone who's interested, that fucking gibberish that you're seeing there, that's not meant to happen. That's actually a bug, where if you start spamming too quickly after shooting licks, for some reason, the text just fucks up, and it's considerably faster, which is why we button mash through that. Again, only an RTA problem. Yeah, I always originally assumed it was meant to be that, because even on my first playthrough, I button mashed. So I just assumed it was always meant to be that, but no, he actually has proper dialogue if you don't just fuck around. You can double jump, you prick. Oh, good cycle, because I've been slow. Yep, if you're slow at the start, you get a good cycle here. If you're fast at the start, you get a bad cycle here. Perfectly balanced as all things should be. I don't actually know which one's more advantageous, if I'm being honest. My guy be like, yeah. Oh, my Chatterino server disconnected briefly there. Am I still live? Can everyone still hear me? My chatbot, or the tool I use for checking chat, was messed up there. And it's still alive and well, hell yeah. And Chatterino's back in action. Must have just been a little hiccup. That's fine. We all have our off moments. Oh, that fucked jump almost cost me the run. Genuinely just felt my heart rate go up after that. Bit slow, but at least we didn't die. Okay, fuck it. Gauntlet is beaten. Gauntlet is fine. That was a stressful gauntlet as well. There were some really close calls on that. That level, by the way, I call it the gauntlet because it's probably one of the, in terms of for the base any percent, it's one of the most sort of, it's not super difficult. Like, I'm really used to it. Again, I find space quite a good section, but in terms of scary, it's definitely up there because there's a lot of shit that can go wrong and it's a very long level. And you have to do like a lot of execution with very little sort of leeway. Like, just those long jumps are very difficult to do, and then you have to hope that the planet setup isn't that bad and adapt to it if it is. And like, as you saw on the first sort of sun with its orbiting planets, I didn't get any of the planets, so there were a lot more to sort of be worried about than normally there would be. Be back here, I think. Fucking hell, one hit. I'll take a one hit. Yeah, that was a slow space section. To be fair, I think my PB isn't actually that my PB is only 3 seconds away from my, like, best, and I think my best is pretty decent for space. So I don't really care if I PB or not, I just like to finish this run. Obviously, PBing would be nice, but we'll see. I don't know what kind of pace I need to be at to PB on an IGT level. Obviously, on an RTA, I'm at pace, but RTA means nothing. Especially with my PC. running this on an SSD and I still get load time issues. I don't know what kind of fucking supercomputer you need to get like perfect load times, but clearly mine isn't it. Oh, what was that? Got the hop first time. Thanks. Doesn't seem like the type of game that requires a lot. No, it doesn't. Like, and the thing is, it runs fine. It runs at 60. Like, I think it's capped at 60, so I couldn't even tell you how high this. I think the menus actually aren't capped. So I think when I'm on a main menu screen, I think my average frame rate is somewhere in the 1,000, or somewhere around 1,000 frames a second on like the menu screens. But the problem is that for some reason the load times are affected by stuff. And as I said, I'm running on an SSD. Like, I deliberately installed my SSD to try and improve load times, and then when I realized that there was a significant difference, like, the reason we knew it was a difference is because Curious Lemur at one point held the world record, even though my IGT was faster than his. His RTA was faster than mine. Which probably gives you an idea of how close the world records have been for this game. Between me and Lemur. So yeah, that was one of the sort of the reasons why when we realized that load times did actually make quite a difference, because I was watching two of our incredibly close runs back to back, or for comparison, for comparison, and I realized that I was spending a lot more time loading areas than he was. I'm catching on collision a lot more today. I think it's just, again, that I'm just not 100% focused, is basically the problem. We're at the final sort of stretch now, before the last boss. This section used to be an absolute nightmare on 2.x, like, whoops. Like, genuinely, the jetpack controls were so fucking flaky that this section was horrendous. Oh no, we do use IGT for timing now. That's the thing, we switched to IGT. Because originally we were concerned at some of the places that IGT... I almost died there. At some of the places IGT paused, so we didn't for the longest time, but then after we realized how much of a problem load times could be, we made the decision that for any runs that could use it, we'd switch to. So that's what led to the categorization by splitting runs up into 1.x, 2.x, and now 3.x. And so 2.x and 3.x use IGT, whilst 1.x, the in-game timer didn't exist in 1.x, so... So we use IGT for this. So this run's going off of IGT. I just have my RTA up as an indication of how I'm doing. Praying for good RNG. Again, I just care about finishing this run. Even if I have a really bad final boss fight, I just care about finishing a run before the end of the stream. Because, well, I said 2.5 hours, but we're up at 3. We're almost up at 3 hours now. So yeah, pray for me, chat. Stop doing this. Oh shit, no, I fucked it, I fucked it, I fucked it. Oh. No, it's not world record pace. That is, well, I have equaled my PB. My PB is 17:27 IGT. It's a PB in RTA because clearly when I got my PV, I was on I was on bad memory leaks. You know what? I'm fine with this. Like, I've caught up to my PB finally. Yeah, 17:27. So 17:27 is my PB. 17:19 is the world record. So yeah, 8-second difference, but I'm actually quite happy with that. It's kind of funny. Like, I think I'm okay with that. I feel like I'd be more okay with that than a fucking 1-second personal, than a fucking 1-second PB. Oh man, you know what? The thing I'm actually happiest about is the fact that he threw some absolutely fucking dog shit patterns at me. Like, that was some really bad RNG, especially in the final phase, and I didn't die to it. I'm actually really happy about that. More than I would have been if I'd got like only a couple of seconds PB. So as you can see, I was getting nothing but time saves, but I only just got. It goes to show the difference that the memory leaks make, because my PB will have happened. Thank you for the congrats on the RTA. Maybe I should submit this actually to the leaderboard because it is an RTA PB after all. But I think that goes to show speed rank B. The reason that speed rank is B is because in Squirm it's impossible to get an A or an S. If you haven't collected all the stars, you have to do 100% to get an A or an S rank. That's the reason. I wasn't slow, I swear. I promise.